Hey everybody, this one's a little bit different video. We're going to be taking a look at a diorama that I built. This is Teddy T's Talladegas. The diorama thing's kind of new, so if you see some mistakes, don't be too harsh. I'm going to zoom out here, and sorry for the wobbling, but if I put my camera on the tripod, it just bounces around when I try to move it. My tripod's pretty stuck in place. So the whole goal of this is kind of a backwoods lot. This guy only sells Talladegas, and if you watch the show, well, that should make sense to you. You've probably seen some of these before. I used some of my existing customs. I made some new ones, and they're having a Hot Wheels show. I'll see if I can get in there. They're having a Hot Wheels show today, kind of like car lots tend to do. We've got Larry Wood, Alec Tam, and this guy, this kind of big scary collector. And yes, that is his pet possum there. Larry's not handling it well. I tried to do as much as I could with this. My main thing with this one was I wanted to learn some different techniques. So everything here I made myself. The trees are wire trees. If you've ever watched Luke Towan's YouTube channel, I'll put the link there. That's the technique that he uses for his trees. Very easy to do. Use some found materials. Otherwise, I tried to make everything myself. The barbed wire fences there, I got a question as I was posting this stuff on Instagram and I was making it, how I did the barbed wire fences. That's just screen door material, and then I just cut out one strand for each barbed wire fence part there. The posts are just little balsa wood posts with holes drilled in them. In fact, the balsa wood is pretty much all the signs here. Little junkyard back here. For some reason, I'm just fascinated by little junkyards, so I found a place for it. Either printed or found all of the different water slide tampos that are used here. I'm going to, oops, sorry for the bouncing around here. I'm going to try and get in here so you can see the front of that little house. The house is as scale as I could make it. I bought a little kit and then I kind of customized it to make it to scale. Yeah, it's close to scale, but there's also some stuff around back here, but my light box isn't quite big enough for you to see it. And I'm going to try and kind of put this back around there, and I don't know if you can see back in there, but there's a little tire swing. I don't know if I can't see what you're seeing right now. Won't see it until editing. Also, it's got this cliff. Now the idea was that sign right there on the other side says trade-ins, park right here. Well, the trade-ins go off the cliff and they go into this little water feature down here. It's the first time I've tried water, rather frightening, but ended up being very easy. I would probably do it differently if I did it again, but it worked out just fine for this. And over here lives a bear. And I'm going to zoom in here, and I don't know if you could see what they've thrown over the side of the mountain. By the way, it's the back side of the house. The side of the mountain they're throwing there. Well, I'll let you figure out what those are. I won't spoil the surprise. Can you figure out what those are? There's my bear. We couldn't find a scale bear, so I made my own. He's very large. I guess they've been feeding him those pizzas for a while, so we'll just go on that. There's some other stuff in there. I'm not going to tell you everything about it because I'll let you find it. It's kind of like Where's Waldo. I tried to hide a bunch of stuff in here. By the way, that is a Maverick there, one of those 3 cars, and that was on purpose. I seeked out one of my Mavericks. I had a Maverick in high school, and I would have easily traded my Maverick for one of those Talladegas. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the tripod. I'll be right back, and you can. Okay, we're back on the tripod. So I'll do another video down the road of some of the techniques I use, but to be honest, everything here has been covered in other videos by other folks. Like I mentioned, Luke Towan's probably my favorite YouTuber when in discussing this kind of diorama scenery based stuff. Real easy to understand, and he lists all the materials. It's a great channel. You should check it out. This is plaster, and these are plaster molds that I use. The actual rock face is regular plaster or dental plaster, which is the heavier plaster, but I wanted to keep this as lightweight as I could. One of the problems I've had with the dioramas you've seen with our green screen videos is they're kind of heavy. They're a little bit unwieldy, clumsy to move around, and I wanted this one to be really light. I was worried about the weight. You can see it's a pretty large thing, and it ended up being much lighter than I ever thought. The whole thing here only weighs like 8 pounds, and most of that's probably in the die cast and this heavier plaster, which is just these rocks here. All the plaster on the top and that mountain back there, and there's a rock back around there you saw, that's lightweight Hydrocal, which you can get at Hobby Lobby or a Train hobby store, or really anywhere. It goes under a bunch of different names, but it's lightweight Hydrocal, and it really is super lightweight. The whole base from the bottom up here is insulation foam, which of course is super light. So that's how I built up this surface, and I just chopped away at it with a hot knife until I got what I wanted, and then I pressed these rocks into it, kind of sealed them all together with plaster, and started painting, basically. I did use a few specialized paints to get the kind of cracked mud look. Again, you can check out Luke Towan's video. He'll show you how to do that. I don't want to steal the ideas. And I did, for the first time, use a lot of the Citadel paints, which are for, not Warcraft, miniature, wargaming miniatures, and found that those worked fantastic for something like this, because they were kind of oversaturated and super bright and showed up, where most of my paints tend to just bleed together and I can't really get surfaces to stand out from each other. That's been a problem I've had on the dioramas I've done before. So I was glad I used some different paints and kind of learned some different stuff. I am going to go back in on the dioramas that you've seen on the green screens and try some different techniques. Oh, I should mention one thing I've done with the grass. I've never been happy with the grass that I've used on my dioramas, and to tell you the truth, I didn't really know what I was doing anyway, so it's no surprise. But I used static grass this time with a static grass applicator, and it makes the grass stand up, so it looks like real grass. Yeah, so yeah, one thing I will point out, if you're looking at this thinking this will be an awesome diorama for my green screen videos, there's one catch that I need to play around with to fix. And that is, I can't have green, like these trees, up in the green screen when I drop them out for the videos. And it's a post-processing thing. It's part of how a green screen works, is it will catch that green and it will actually mask out the trees. It also will mask out all these little bushes here, even if I do what's called a garbage mask, which is a post-processing thing we use. I don't have a good way of saving those trees and then dropping a digital background behind it. I'm sure there's a way to do it, and I know I can buy different materials. There's different colors that would work fine. I just don't have those, and I'm not really keen on investing in it right now. So I may try to do some stuff with this, but if you're wondering why we always have desert landscapes in our diorama videos, it's because they're really easy to green screen. And just, you know, there's the water feature down there, and our bear. This is gonna snap. He's over there. There we go. So try to get this back here. My tripod is not made for this kind of work. Yeah, so this was fun. It took about a month, and if you've been following us on YouTube, you've probably seen this from the beginning. I've been posting shots and There were many, many failures. In fact, the whole plan for this originally was something completely different, but pretty happy with how it turned out, real happy with the techniques I learned, and we'll revisit those in a future video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.